And greetings everyone, Lights and Gear is back with another flashlight review. I have the C8 from Convoy to talk about today. Now the C8, if you Google it, has actually been around for a while, and it's also been around for a while from Convoy. I've seen reviews back to 2014 or so, but this is a new version. This has a Cree XPL LED, and this is the U37A. Oops, I'm sorry, there we go, U37A. It comes in a couple of different color temperatures, and that's what that designation is for. And in this particular instance, the one I got is a very warm, I don't know whether you call it a warm white or not, but it is a very warm, neutral kind of temperature, a color temperature of actually 3,000 to 3,300. If you want a cool white version, you can go with a 5,000 and upward temperature. So GearBest is selling these, and you can go with 2 or 3 different types here, if that's your choice. Anyway, I'm fooling around with this little box because this is what it came in, which isn't a whole lot, just a very simple piece of packaging here, and the flashlight was wrapped up in some bubble wrap. There's no instructions. There was well, really nothing except the box and the flashlights. And here's the light, and it's about as average a size as a lot of flashlights of this type are. If you're unfamiliar with Convoy, they are a budget brand, but they do use quality materials, and even though they're budget and they often sell for less, they don't include a lot of fancy bells and whistles or accessories in their flashlights, but they do present a quality product. So anyway, there's Convoy, and you can see C8 right there, and it is an attractive looking light. This particular one is all silver, so it's hi-ho silver in a way, you know. It's very gleaming. What more can I say? Anyway, this is your XPL high LED here amidst a very smooth reflector, and it's also very deep, so the beam throw on this is pretty darn good. Actually, I don't know why, but I'm not recalling right now what the beam throw distance is. It's at least a couple of 100 meters, or it's got to be more than that, but I say at least. But actually, yeah, I'm not remembering right now, but it is very good. And if you check out my written review at lightsandgear.com, the link is below. You can see some of the beam shots that I've taken, and whereas the ones that show the beam going across the street, and those are certainly very telling there. So anyway, here's the power switch right on the bottom, and as you can see, it tail stands perfectly because it is recessed in there, and it's a rather nice looking, sort of a very classy looking tail switch, I might add. Not many that you see are white like that, but of course it obviously goes with the rest of the light. Now for batteries, it oh yeah, it does have the holes down here, because it did come, I should say that, it did come with a lanyard attached to it, and it was a very simple lanyard. I took that off because I generally don't use lanyards, so I just took that off, but it did come with that attached. Anyway, 18650 is the battery it takes, and I have not seen anything anywhere to indicate what the working voltage is, so I'm not sure if it's acceptance with CR123s or 16340 rechargeables, etc. With a 2-battery configuration. I'm not exactly certain. I think it probably does accept those, but I haven't tried it, and I don't want to blow the LED in case it doesn't. So you have a spring here in the tail cap, and there's also a spring inside up in there in the tube. And flat top batteries, as far as I know, seem to work okay. I believe I had one in here earlier, but with springs in either, they should be all right. So anyway, there's your battery portion of the light. Did I mention that it's IPX8? It is submersible, waterproof. It's also impact resistant to 1.5 meters. And a 900 lumens is, I believe, the top output. It has 5 regular outputs plus a couple of flashing modes. So let's get to the whole shebang, the whole kit and caboodle, the whole thing here. so I don't rattle off any more ridiculous puns or anything like that. So I will click the bottom of the light, and the way to turn it on is to just click the bottom of the light, and with every little press you will go to the next mode. Now I have a white background here, so I hope you can tell the color temperature, and again it's extremely warm, and I hope that's coming through. It is certainly far from being a cool white, and a lot of folks do like that. It also has a very narrow focused beam, being that it's the XPL, which attributes to its vast beam distance. So anyway, we are at low. Now, a couple of things I do have to mention. This version I got is a basic version of the light. What it actually comes in, why can't I see this on the, oh, I'm turning, anyway, never mind. Operator error. It actually comes in a different version which has a new piece of firmware which comes with it, or it has been updated with a new piece of, with a more complex bit of firmware, which gives you a lot more diversity in your modes and so forth. This particular version does not have a memory, so there's no memory on here. I can turn it on and turn it off all day long on whatever mode I want, and each time I come back to it, it will always be in the lowest mode. So there you go right there. So this one does not have a memory. The updated firmware edition does. And so if you want to look into that one, you can certainly do that. Anyway, we are in the lowest mode here, and you can see how that's going in the other room there. And again, this beam is very, almost very sun-like. You just imagine you're looking at the little piece of the sun, given the very tight hot spot that it delivers. So click it again, and there I am in what I would consider to be low, and here's medium, and here's high, and here's what would be a turbo mode. So again, that's very bright, and nice color to the beam if you do like that warm temperature. Now the flashing modes, which will obviously come right after the highest mode. Here is a strobe, which is almost a little bit of almost a faster strobe than some that I've seen. And if I click it again, I get to a bicycle mode. So if you want to put this on your bike handle, just like a little bicycle light, it has the sort of vibrating or whatever kind of effect you want to put to that. Now if I click it again, this one's kind of annoying to the camera anyway. This is a battery voltage alert. So this one, it's now telling me 1, 2, 3, looks like it's blinking 3 times, which tells me the battery is at 75% power. So if it was blinking 4 times, then it would be at 100%, and 2 times it would be 50%. So that's your 25% 25% per blink battery voltage indicator. And then obviously I clicked it again, and I got right back to the low mode. Now if you're cycling through and you don't want to cycle through the emergency modes, which on most flashlights without a memory you do have to do, all you do is partially press the button and hold it for a couple of seconds like that, and then it reverts back to low, and it completely bypasses those flashing modes. And I think that's a pretty nice little feature, so you don't have to keep going through those every time. All you have to do is press the button for about 2 seconds, and there you're back in low without having to see the flashing modes. So I certainly do like that, because I like flashlights that do have a memory. It's kind of annoying when you come across one that doesn't, but in this case where you can bypass strobe and everything else, I think that's superior. And of course if you want it, it's right there. So anyway, but you know, as I say, this is a nice flashlight. It's a very simple flashlight. It's a very simple user interface. A lot of people will be happy with that. Doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles. You can't recharge the battery inside the light. You know, it doesn't have I mean, there are a lot of things it doesn't have, but I mean, it does have quality features. So you have your glass lens, and you have your coated, has coated optics, and of course you have I believe the body here is type 3. I think it's hard anodized, but I believe most of the Convoys are. I have reviewed a couple of them, 2 or 3 of them actually, in the past few months. so I've become a little more familiar with them than I have been in the past. So anyway, I think you'll be relatively pleased with this light, and of course the price is usually rather competitive as well. Speaking of which, the link below to pick up the light from GearBest is within the description, and they of course have a good price on the Convoy C8, and that link is also in my written review at lightsandgear.com. If you want to slip over there and have a look at those outdoor beam shots, then you can also click that same link from the written review as well. But I do want to thank the folks at GearBest for letting me try it out and show it to you all. And again, the C8 is the latest XPL LED version from Convoy, and haven't got a nice fancy box to show you, just a flashlight, but you know, that usually pretty much sells itself as what the features are of the light that you're actually buying. So anyway, thanks a bunch for looking. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time with more from lightsandgear.com. Questions or comments, of course, let me know below. Bye-bye.